Hi, this is Danielle Flanders with the Creative Card Maker for Scrapbook Expo, the weekly scrapper blog. And today I'm going to show you how I use watercolor pencils on a card. These are the pencils that I'm using today, and these are just a 12-pack that I found at a craft store here in my area. And the papers I'm using today are called Bold Blossoms. They're watercolor printed papers that are card size, A2 size, by Paper Tray Ink. And here are some of the different patterns that you get in the watercolor sheet package. There's some pretty designs, some more elaborate things you can color in, and then add a sentiment right in the middle, or you can just do a simple one. So let's get started. So I have my watercolor pencils ready to go, and I just have a little cup of water and a paintbrush. I'm going to go ahead and start with the red and start with the center flower, and I'm just going to color in closer to the middle of the flower. I want the darker, more intense red to be more in the center of the flower, and then I'll use the water to brush the color out, and it should get lighter towards the end of the petals. And this is kind of what you would see in nature, is the darker shadow would be towards the center of the flower, so it'd be a little bit darker. So now I'm just taking a paintbrush and some water, just a clean paintbrush, and I'm just dabbing a little bit of water onto where I colored. And you can just dab, or you can slowly push the color out towards the end of the petals. Just use a little bit of water to start. You don't need much at all. Then I'm going to add a tiny bit more color to the center, and it really spreads out nicely after you already have a little bit of water on your paper. I love how you can add more intense color as you go. You can even let it dry and add even more color over the top. So I'll just feather it out slightly, and I'll let the center flower dry. For the side flowers, I'm going to use the orange. Just the same process, just coloring in towards the center. Using the watercolor pencils and the watercolor paper, it's just very relaxing just to sit and color. And then I'll take a little bit of water again, and the water just takes away the pencil lines and makes it look more painted. It's such a cool effect. I love how easy the pencils are. Then you can go ahead and add a little bit more intense color in the centers if you'd like. Then I'll go ahead and do the green leaves. And I'm just going to go towards the center of the leaf again. You can add a little bit more along the veins of the leaves also if you'd like. Super easy. This doesn't take much time at all. And you don't have to be perfect about it at all either. That's what it's so forgiving. So here I'll add a little bit more water. Just smooth it out. Oops, you saw that I have a little bit of orange mixed in with my green, so that's very easy to take care of. Just grab a paper towel and dab the orange paint off. And continue with the process. It's so easy to fix your mistakes while it's still wet. Just dab it off, or add a little bit of more clear water, dab, and start over again. Now for the background, I thought it would be nice to add a little bit of blue shading, just to add a little bit of color. And I just wet my watercolor paper a little bit, and now I'm taking the blue watercolor pencil and just coloring randomly. Then you'll grab a little bit more water and blend it in. You don't want to see the pencil lines, so just coloring lightly for the background is the best way to go about it, and just blend, color a little bit more, blend a little bit more. Here I'm taking the little bit darker blue. I think the lighter blue wasn't showing up that well on camera, so the darker blue is going to work well on this card. And that's about it for this technique. You just color and smooth it with your paintbrush, color and smooth, just to get the look that you're going for. Now here's another technique you can try. If you're not comfortable coloring directly onto your card with the pencils, you can color onto another sheet of watercolor paper and then just take a wet paintbrush and pick up some of the color from this paper and dab it onto your card. And you can add more intense color this way by just building up the layers. Now for the sentiment, I want to add a little saying across the top on a separate sheet of paper. So I've cut a little strip of cardstock, white cardstock, and I have the Bold Blossom stamp set here by Paper Tray Ink. I'm going to use the So Sweet of You, and so I'll stamp it on this little cardstock strip. I think it's about 1 inch wide by about 4 inches, 4 1/4 or so, the width of the card. And I'm just stamping it in black to go with the black outline of the flowers. And then to notch the ends, I'll just cut up into the center of each end and then snip from the corner, and that way you get a perfectly notched end. So I'll do this on both sides to create a little banner, sentiment banner. And there's my little finished sentiment strip I'm going to add right over the top with some dimensional adhesive. And I also have a few clear sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm going to adhere those to my card with glossy accents. And here are the finished cards. You can see the foam adhesive under the sentiment strip and the pretty sequins just add a little bit of sparkle. I hope you had fun seeing the watercolor pencil process, and we'll give it a try. And be sure to stop over to scrapbookexpo.com/weeklyscrapper for more fun ideas. Thanks for watching.